When you first took the reins at Bayut, what were the big changes that you knew you had to make in the very competitive platforms of portals?
Yeah, it was interesting, right? We're pretty late to the game. There was Dubizzle, and there was Property Finder, and Bayut was just, frankly, when I came in, I mean, I think our office was probably anywhere between 600 to 700 square feet, and there were three people. There was me, there was a person at the front desk, and there was one salesperson, and that's pretty much it.
Wow.
So there's not much to change. You literally hardly a team. I think you correctly pointed out it was already very competitive at that time, and we were just one of the many. If you remember back in the day, there were more than just the names that we're mentioning. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. There were more portals around.
The entire troops. Hi.
Good to see you.
We've got an audience. Welcome to Property Talk from Louise's Lounge. On today's episode, we have Haider Khan, CEO of Bayut Dubizzle and CEO of Dubizzle Group MENA, which is also the parent company of Property Monitor and Drive Arabia. Welcome, Haider. Thank you so much for attending today, giving us your time.
No, thank you so much for having me. My pleasure.
Great to have you here. So Haider, let's get straight in. You started out in the US tech world before you moved to Dubai. So what made you take that leap and what excited you about the opportunity in Dubai?
So I am an engineer by education and profession. I did my degree in electrical engineering from the University of Texas at Austin. Then I spent a long time in Austin in the tech space. And I have, so we're three brothers. I have two other brothers who, founded the business over here, Bayut back in the day. And I think we were talking, and it just seemed like an interesting opportunity to come over here. It allowed me to be closer to my roots, closer to family. And I think Dubai was upcoming. I guess it was a little after that, but the early 2000s. And
this is what year did you come?
So I came here in 2014. So obviously you had seen, the last decade or decade and a half before that of Dubai really evolving. And it seemed like a really good opportunity to just come over here and make do of whatever was here, and it's just turned out to be really well. So it's been an exciting journey.
You.
Yeah, it's been good for me. It's been good for the family. Kids were younger, so it's easier to move at that age. My eldest was 9, so it's a lot easier to move when they're in that age.
It's a great place for the kids.
Yeah, and then them just growing up over here and having that exposure. Hopefully, they're better rounded and better off. By being here. So.
Absolutely. So when you first took the reins at Bayut, what were the big changes that you knew you had to make in the very competitive platforms of portals?
Yeah, it was interesting, right? We're pretty late to the game. There was Dubizzle, and there was Property Finder, and Bayut was just, frankly, when I came in, I mean, I think our office was probably anywhere between 600 to 700 square feet. And there were three people. There was me, there was a person at the front desk, and there was one salesperson. And that's pretty much it.
Wow.
So there's not much to change.
Yeah.
You come in.
Starting afresh with
you literally hardly a team. And I think you correctly pointed out it was already very competitive at that time. And we were just one of the many. If you remember back in the day, there were more than just the names that we're mentioning. Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah. So there were more portals around. And look, I come from, as I said, I come from an engineering tech background, product background, and what I saw generally across the world, and specifically over here as well, both with all the other portals in the marketplace, I just felt that the product was lacking. Sure, they were solving a need, which was digitization of classifieds. So you go from newspapers into the digital space. It's more immersive. It's more detailed. You can find out more. But I just didn't think it was just a simple collection of properties with pictures and description. And from day one, my belief was that we can build a better product. The tricky thing about building better product is that you also have to get people to use that product. And so it's not only that you build something better, it's just going to fly off the shelf. It doesn't work like that. And then product takes a long time. Both from kind of building, understanding the market, and building the right thing, but also from an adoption angle. So the key thing that I saw, at least back then, was I think we can build something that's a lot better than this. And then we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, one step at a time.
Yeah.
So many of our listeners will know Bayut and Dubizzle separately, but not the full story of how they came together.
Sure.
And if you can tell us a little bit about that, but how did merging the two brands change the game?
So, as I said, when I started this in 2014, Dubizzle was like, well, I guess at the ceiling somewhere. And it was a household name. People used it. I think I remember I was walking, it was maybe Arabian Ranches where I was walking through a parking lot, and I just overheard two kids talking about selling a skateboard, and they're like, "Yeah, just put it on Dubizzle, right?"
Yeah,
so
so
that's
all the other items, household,
right.
cars.
So I was like, "Oh, okay." That's how common it was.
Yeah.
And I think for us, it was really just for me personally and for the team, and as we developed and grew, and it was just about staying focused on what we knew, which was real estate, and just do it really, really well. Along the years, we also raised funding, and we go to conferences and we present. So I think the Dubizzle was owned by Naspers, or Process is the parent company. They also come and they present at those conferences. They really liked what we were talking about, and so that's how we kind of first met each other. At a conference, they were presenting, we were presenting. And then over time, I think Bayut continued to grow, and I think they could see the potential in what we're doing, and I guess both in the product side and kind of building the platform. Whereas Dubizzle tends to be a generalist, so all the focus can't go into real estate. There's automotive, and then there's all the other categories as well. At some point, there was some discussion about should we get together. Kind of made sense. And it happened, I think, but the interesting part is that obviously it started before that, but it really happened during the lockdown.
Really? Okay.
2020.
We had to be very innovative.
I don't know if you,
then, didn't
yeah,
we? We were in our homes. We had
it
to
was,
really come up with
you couldn't
things.
even leave. Like, I remember it was during those days, it was around those days where you couldn't even leave your front door.
Not very creative. I felt.
Yeah. So you're sitting at home. But obviously, this had been going on for a while, and I think it got signed around that time. So it was an interesting time. So when this happened, like, I couldn't even meet the Dubizzle team. I couldn't even go in there and say hi. I remember we did the call over Zoom with as many people as we could, but it's not the same. Although it was an interesting period. I mean, I don't miss Zoom that much. I like to see people in person, so it was an interesting time. And then I think also as the offices opened up, you were not fully back, and it seems like it's in distant memory, but it really isn't. It's only 5 years ago.
Doesn't seem real now when you
kind of I don't know. It's there, but it seems like it was a long time ago, but it's just 5 years ago. So that was also interesting. Just going into the office, but trying to figure out how and when people come back and etc. But thankfully, it's worked out well. Now we're all housed in the same place. I think a lot of the kind of when you integrate two businesses, there are two cultures that are coming together. So that's pretty interesting. I'd never seen that before.
A lot of challenges, I'm sure.
Because there's two different ways of doing things, and then you have to find one way of doing thing, and so there's give and take on both sides, and then you kind of figure out what the course is. So that all of that's worked out pretty well. Pretty happy with where we are. Yeah.
Absolutely. So for somebody who is buying, selling, or investing today, why should they care that Bayut and Dubizzle are together? How does it actually benefit them now?
Sure. So look, I think we've done some studies in terms of understanding. One, and specifically on real estate. One fair question to ask is, why do we have two front ends or two portals when Bayut has a lot of traffic and Dubizzle has a lot of traffic? So why have both? And the analysis that we did was we actually looked at what is the overlap in the audience. And what we did was we looked at the number of leads that are generated across both and what are common or an overlapping leads. what we found was there's only a 17%.
Is it only that?
Yeah.
Wow, very different.
So yeah, so there's about 80+%, which is unique to both platforms. And you know, this is consumer behavior. It's very difficult for me or anybody for that matter to predict or to say or tell you exactly why one uses one platform versus another. You know, it's I've run into people who love Bayut. I've run into people who love Dubizzle. So
You never really
it's just,
get into the
you know,
mindset.
and I'm always curious of why do you like this or why do you like that? And some people like the simplicity, some people like the product, whatever it is, but they're entitled to their opinion and they will do whatever they have to do. But we found a very little overlap, 70%. And so when we can get a property listed on both platforms, what we've also seen is that our audience reach becomes massive. You know, you think about it this way, we have a property vertical, or Bayut, which is the portal. It gets a lot of traffic, but Dubizzle tends to be a very sticky platform. You know, once you found a property, you have other reasons to stay on Dubizzle. Maybe you're looking to sell something, maybe you're looking to buy, you know, the stable, sofa, whatever it is.
Full marketplace.
People, yes, full marketplace. So it is a sticky app, and there's a lot of traffic on it all the time. You know, more than, I think, around over 60% of the traffic is on the app, and the app stays. And so what happens is that one is your reach just amplifies in terms of the audience, but then you also have this audience on this platform which has many more reasons to stay engaged. So you can catch people in different phases of the journey, right? So for example, if somebody's looking for a baby item, maybe they're also looking to move because there's going to be additional, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So if you can get a property ad in front of them, you know,
it's like the lifestyle.
organically, naturally, you can probably catch them way before they even start actually looking for something. So those are the kind of things that we're actually studying and trying to understand how these things interoperate, and that's why I think our reach is just tremendous compared to others in the market. Yeah.
Absolutely, makes absolute sense. Bayut and Dubizzle are not just about property, they've also become a key part about UAE's online community.
Sure.
So is there any initiatives or projects that
Sure.
you've got involved in?
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, I think there's a few projects that we work on. You know, for example, you know, when you have abandoned pets, you know, we've kind of reached out to that community, like, you know, that you have centers that are licensed and authorized. So we work with them in making sure that those pets can find a home.
I love that.
And so we do these kind of things, you know, which it's not about the money. It's just making sure that we can contribute in some way back.
Do you have pets?
We used to have a couple of cats, So you know, and you can see there's a lot of, you know, you find a lot of stray cats.
Absolutely, particularly in summer.
Yeah, you do, and they're out. You know, it's funny. Like, I also find them, like, when I go back home, and it's
you want to take them all home.
Yeah, they're just roaming around, and it's so hot. You know, and
I love that initiative. I'm all about pets for sure. That's a good one. So with millions of users on both portals, what are some of the most common searches that you're seeing today, or are there any surprising trends that people are looking for?
So one thing that we did on Bayut was we launched Bayut GPT, which is, you know, essentially it is what the name suggests. As opposed to using filters, you can actually talk to the portal. Okay, so you can go in there and you can ask questions about what you're looking for, you know, and so that gives us a lot more insights into what people are actually looking for, because when you have filters, all you can do is you can specify the type, price,
It's that
area,
choice, I think.
and then they're kind of hard, right? So they're not very malleable. Just like, okay, this, and then you see something, and then you can reorder them. But what we're seeing is a lot of interesting questions being asked by people and trying to understand whether it's the ROI or the rental yield a lot better. And then asking for data to kind of back it up. So you clearly see the market is getting more educated in terms of understanding what they're getting into. You know, asking questions about, like, off-plan and payment plans and delivery dates and etc. So you start getting a sense of people are looking at. I mean, Obviously, there's people who are looking to buy for themselves. Then there's people who are just looking at it as an investment as well. And so they're trying to get more knowledge about just generally what's happening in the market. And I think that's something that we've uncovered with BayutGPT, like, okay, which frankly also helps us build better filters. So, you know, we can bring that to the rest of the world. But we're seeing a lot of those interesting trends where they're asking deeper and deeper questions when it comes to understanding the market.
Which is always a good thing for our investors.
Which is a great
to delve
thing, I
and
think,
educate and make.
Yeah, and you know, from the first day that I came here, look, a lot of my my perspective is very much based on the U.S. market, which is a very transparent market. You can find
Everything's disclosed.
everything, right? You can find everything. And I think when we were buying our first home in the U.S., I very much appreciated having that data at hand. Just because I just felt I had enough. Maybe I'm an engineer, so maybe I'm, you know, a little to the other side anyway, like in the sense of just looking deeper into things. But it just gave me a sense of comfort around knowing what we're getting into. The funny thing was I did all of that stuff, and we moved into the house. I forgot about all of that stuff, you know, because when you start living, you start living, you know, you just, you don't worry about it. And so I think transparency matters. I think getting people to understand what's happening really matters, because then they will be confident, and you don't want people who are not so confident in their decisions to be actually frankly buying, because then you
They
lead
don't
to
have
kind
enough
of
information.
exactly, because then you know it's the same thing. You're going to buy stock. You can go buy stock and you might get lucky, but the good ones, you know, the funds and the people who really invest, they study the companies that they're investing in.
They know it.
And when they know them, then they hold them for a long period of time. And with the real estate, the game is holding it. It's not just, okay, the moment the market flips, you know, or it starts a slight correction, you just, you know, you don't. So I think it's a lot better to be educated, understand past trends, and make sound decisions, right?
It strengthens the market for us. So from a functionality point of view, which tools or features are the most popular with the users, and why do you think that resonates strongly with them?
I think on the data side, you know, we see a lot of usage on the transactions that we have. So we sign an MOU with the DLD, we get that data, and then we do a lot of cleanup on it, and then we make that available to everybody. So we've seen tremendous growth in terms of just engagement and traffic on that. And then on top of that, we built TrueEstimate, which is the tool to get a digital valuation for your property. That we've had tremendous success with. So in the month of May of this year, every other ready secondary property that transacted, every other, so that's over 50%, had a TrueEstimate report against it before they transacted.
Really? Yeah. That's good to know, though. They're really looking in. I think everybody wants to know that they're buying something for the right price.
Well, that, right, and it gives you a lot more, like it gives you the digital value, like it gives you a valuation of your property, an estimate, tells you what the rental yield is, tells you what other properties have transacted, tells you similar properties that are available in the market. It really helps you understand kind of a 360-degree view of what's really going on. And I think it also helps on the consumer side, obviously, but also I think on the broker's side, I believe it also helps kind of bridge that gap that you often see between what the seller is asking for and what the buyer is willing to pay. So I think it really helps with that, because we've seen it kind of land somewhere in the middle, because the market is moving so fast, you know, these days, that
they just want to get their right price.
Yeah, like everybody just wants, like, okay, you know, this, add another 10%, another 5%, another 5%.
We use it a lot as well. Our agents use it.
So I think we've seen tremendous success over there when it comes to consumers. Heavy usage of both of those. Yeah.
Good. At 50% surprises me.
Yeah, it's actually, I think it's hit
Keep
about
56%.
Wow, 55, 56, something like that.
Yeah. Good to see. So young buyers and sellers, they do expect tech-first solutions. Which one feature or innovation on Bayut do you think has really changed the way people use the property search, the experience?
I think with when we launched the TrueBroker program, what it's allowed to do is, because we showcase the properties, and right next to the properties we showcase the top true brokers in that community, what we've seen is people have started reaching out to those people directly. You know, I was looking at some of the stats just even yesterday and trying to understand what's really going on over there. And it's not just buyers. What we've also seen is about a third of them are sellers. and it's an interesting problem to solve, because how do sellers find who to give their property to get it sold? So I think we're really starting to understand this direct connection that they're also building with the brokers, which, again, I've always felt, and because in my own personal life, when we've bought properties, it really is a trust equation with the person who's across on the other side.
Absolutely.
Right? And then you just trust them to represent you and do the best that they can. So I think finding that person is something that's unique to Bayut, and I think that's really helping out with just consumers kind of getting to hopefully what they're looking for a little bit faster as well.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm going to confirm that, because our agents say exactly the same, which sellers will actually approach them because they feel that the quality, the performance there, they want a partnership with the real estate agent,
Yeah.
and they're saying the same.
Yeah, and even again, again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but typically, I don't think people are looking to list with 100 people.
Yeah.
They would rather just, honestly, if I could find a good agent, I would say, okay, it's yours.
Stay, yeah.
Sell it. And obviously, if you can't, then we'll sit down and talk about it. But I think that's a much better equation generally across the board for everybody.
Yeah, very good starting point. Who to select. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So Dubai is famous for its competition in the portal space, which we've already said. It's extremely competitive.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, what's the edge that Bayut and Dubizzle have that nobody else can match?
So look, I think the one thing that I mentioned is just the audience that we have, the traffic that we have. If you look at the country, UAE, it's roughly 10 plus million, 11 million people. And if we just look at our traffic, we probably get like over 6 million, 7 million, right? Every month.
Wow.
Okay, so just
everybody.
It's a lot of reach that we have, and then Dubizzle gives that extra reach because, again, as I said, there's so many categories. People are doing different things at different phases in their lives. So one is just purely on the reach side. We just have a lot more reach. Second is, I think on Bayut specifically, I think we've done a lot on the product side, which gives us an edge. And it's not necessarily just building product, as I said earlier. It's also about getting people to adopt it and use it, because there's no point in building something that nobody uses. So you have to build something that's meaningful and helps. So whether it's Bayut GPT, whether it's TrueEstimate, the transaction data, TrueBroker program as a whole, both for the consumers and the brokers. We have other tools like we're about to launch. I think it's going to go in beta mode with TrueScan, where you can take your phone and just make a floor plan as you walk through the property.
Oh, wow. Okay. You're solving problems.
Yeah, which actually measures the dimensions.
Really?
Of everything.
When's
so
that coming out?
It's about to. Yeah.
Is that some little insight information?
Yeah, sure. We have BroConnect, which is allowing brokers to connect with each other on the platform. If they have a buyer looking for something and they just want to ask the community at large, we're looking at how you can create your own groups. So you don't actually have to work with everybody. You can just have a small group. You can have just within the company. We're heavily invested on the product side, which really differentiates us. Don't just want to be a digital version of a newspaper classifieds. We want to be a lot more than that.
It sounds like it's all around connectivity.
Connectivity and using tech to make things a lot more efficient.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 2020 OLX merger made Dubizzle Group a unicorn, and now you've joined forces with Property Monitor. We've already talked a little bit on the transparency of data. So how do these big moves shape the bigger picture, not just for the industry, but for everyday buyers, sellers, investors?
Well, I think if you look at Property Monitor, the team's done a fantastic job with limited resources over the last 5-6 years. And there were certain limitations. For example, they've primarily just worked off the transactional data that they have. We have a lot more data. We have what consumers are doing on the platform, whether it's property or other things, both on Bayut and Dubizzle.
So behavioral
data.
Yeah,
exactly. Behavioral data. What are they looking for? What kind of properties are they really searching for? And the other thing is they've done a fantastic job with limited resources as well, right? Financially as well. So I think when we get involved, we can really help out. both on getting the team staffed up to actually build even better product. And you can see, I think I've said product the most number of times in this.
You're excited
Yeah,
about
yeah, I
the
get excited
product,
about those things. And so we can help them out over there, help them to staff up properly. Plus, we can give them a lot more data that they can now build some really wonderful tools with, and they're busy doing that now. So I think we can turbocharge their journey. And so when we get involved, the idea is we're still very entrepreneurial in the sense that, Zan's there, and these guys are there. They're the ones who are going to drive that, but we're there to support it with whatever they need to make sure that it becomes even a better product than it is today.
Yeah, absolutely. And more data, more transparency is better for everybody.
More data, and we're very excited about that acquisition actually, because I think the way I see this is, brokers are like the power users. They're the centers of knowledge when it comes to the industry. So we can really help empower them even more now through this platform, which is dedicated and is purposely built to educate them, right? So
yeah, good.
Yeah.
Get my agents all on that.
Yeah.
We use Property Monitor,
Yeah,
actually.
sure.
We have done for a few
Absolutely.
years. So if we're going to fast forward 5 years, how do you see property portals evolving? Will they look more like the marketplaces or the lifestyle hubs like Dubizzle, or do you think there'll be something entirely new?
Look, the future is unpredictable. The thing that's in our control is to stay ahead of the curve. Right? I mean, I don't think at this point anybody can predict what the next generation is going to do or how they're going to do it. But when I say you stay ahead of the curve, when you have AI coming in, and it's everywhere now, it's more pervasive. It's people are using it. And you start seeing a lot of traffic going into like the GPTs of the world and other platforms as well. Embrace technology, right? Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
Embrace it, and then we'll see what happens. Because if you don't do it, somebody else will, and they'll disrupt you.
Yeah.
So it's okay. I mean, I have no problems us disrupting ourselves. It's an issue if somebody else disrupts us.
Yeah.
And that's why we actually have a very large team that just focuses on AI and ML. Just to give you some sense of scale, I mean, we have over 60 proprietary AI models that are running in the back.
Gee, 60.
Yeah, 60,
Okay.
and at our peak number of recommendations that the engines are making has hit 500,000 in a minute. That's how much, we record a lot of data because there's a lot of users, but just, when it comes to trust and safety, for example, right? Is this, is this user an actual user or a scammer? Those things happen. We actually running models to figure that out, right? TrueEstimate itself, for example, runs about 8 to 10 different models, AI models in the back to kind of triangulate the value. So there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes. So we're embracing it, and we also use it for internal productivity as well. Things that can be offloaded, we try to offload those. So we're embracing it full-heartedly. We were not afraid of getting GPT in. We're not afraid of getting TrueBroker stories in, which mixes kind of the social selling with listings.
Right.
We're not afraid. So we're going to try these things out, and then we'll see, and hopefully we can be part of defining what's next as opposed to being surprised by what's next.
Yeah, makes sense. No, very interesting. And finally, what's one piece of advice that you would like to share with somebody who's listening, who might be thinking of getting into real estate or maybe investing for the first time in real estate?
This is an interesting question. And I'll share a personal story. When we were buying our first house, we were looking, this is back in the US, and it took us 9 months to find a house. Maybe we're extra picky, but we just wanted something that we liked.
Home.
Yeah, it's our home. And I happened to talk to my manager one day, and I said, oh, I got to leave early. He said, what's up? I said, we have a viewing. I need to go see this house. And he said, oh, okay, you're buying. He said, I have some advice for you that I got a long time ago. I just want to pass it on. I said, okay, all right, please go ahead. This is his advice, disclaimer, but it's worked out really well.
I love this. So you got this advice.
Yeah. So I'm just passing on. So he said, buy the most expensive home you can. Right? You're young. Hopefully you'll do well. Things will get better as time progresses. affordability will become easier. So try to buy the most expensive home that you can afford. Not get married to
Yeah.
the house, but reasonably.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't compromise. If you
Don't
don't have to.
don't compromise, and push it to where it's not painful but still comfortable. And that's my advice. So I said, okay. I went home. I told my wife. I said, this is what he said. So that completely shifted
Stick to
our
this, yeah.
frame of mind in terms of looking for what we want to look for, and we ended up buying on the kind of the higher side, and it turned out to be so true, because 2-3 years down the road, once we had a child, so we had a bit of extra space. But it also, it took us about 7 years to outgrow that house, but it was really good advice.
Yeah.
And
Taking a risk a little bit, maybe if you're maxing out.
yeah,
But
take it, and don't get into real estate if you don't treat it like a short-term play, right? That's the other thing that I've learned is with real estate. I mean, I think if you look at a lot of the wealth in the world has been built on real estate,
absolutely.
but not by selling real estate, by holding real estate forever. Well, for however long your life, right?
Yeah.
And then passing it on, to the next generation. So I think with real estate, you can look at it's just do your work, do your diligence, find something good, and then hold on.
Yeah. Don't
Hold
be
on,
so
right?
quick to
Don't
flip.
Yeah. Real estate cycles happen. Just you'll be fine as long as you can tolerate those cycles, right? And at the same time, buy something that you can afford. Don't get married to the house as well. Don't get into a position where it becomes very tricky for you.
It's within your affordability.
It's within your affordability,
Yeah,
right? So, but I think investing in real estate. Just one last thing on this. I mean, there's not that many assets that generate cash flow. You tell me, right? I mean, sure, you can put money in a bank. But that doesn't appreciate, right?
Shares,
but the money doesn't
stocks,
appreciate, right?
Yeah.
The money's just lying over there. You can get a dividend or a profit or interest, whatever it is, but the money is the same amount,
Well, I'm with you definitely.
right? So
on that.
so I think just think about real estate as an investment. If you're buying for yourself, buy a house that you'd be happy living in. If you're buying as an investment, do the work, and then hold.
Absolutely. Keep it as that asset rather
it,
than
right.
moving it on and not
Yeah.
have anything.
Yeah, hold it, and then unless you're moving, and then when you're buying yourself, after a few years, you move into something else. So just have a very sound understanding of what you're doing, and
Yeah.
just hold.
Own real estate assets.
Yeah.
Simply.
So that's advice I got a long time ago, but and I'm just passing it
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
No, I absolutely agree with you. Thank you very much, Haider. Appreciate your time today, and thank you for joining us on our podcast.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Hopefully, you'll come again sometime.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to, and my pleasure being here. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you,
Very kind
Haider.
of you. All right. Thank you. Have a good day. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Property Talk from Louise's Lounge. We hope you've enjoyed today's episode with Haider Khan. And like always, if you have any suggestions or comments for future episodes, please do get in touch, and we hope you tune in again soon.